Oh, hey there! You might be wondering, what am I doing? I made so many mistakes this week that I could make an entire mountain out of them. So, I'm climbing the mountain of my mistakes. Before I get into it all, a quick announcement. This series is coming to its end in the next episode, and it's time to put the money where my mouth is. The next Zero to Hero character will be a tank. The poll goes live with this video, and you'll find it in the description, pinned comment, and my Discord. Demon Hunter won't be on the list because it's too meta right now, and so is Arcane Mage, and I don't want to play two popular specs in a row, and Prot Paladin is missing as well because I just played Paladin recently and want some other class representation. So please, make sure to vote for the tank spec you want to see me play. The poll is up till the 1st of June. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Arcane Mage series. Last time I reached 659 item level and 2008 rating, which means I got Keystone Master. This week was the first week of the turbo boost, so naturally I'm going to start with the puzzling cartel chip quest, which requires me to do 4 dungeons, so I hopped into a Theater of Pain plus 8. I made a grave error on the first boss by not focusing down the Bloodhorn. I should have used my opener on it, so it goes down faster. This way it lived a lot longer than it should have, and put a ton of pressure on the healer to keep us above the grass, but thankfully we still managed to down the boss without any deaths. Gore Chop became a bit ropey when the healer died. We were out of combat reses, so we had to survive the fight without him. The Demon Hunter helped out with darkness, and I also put out a mass barrier afterwards to make sure we survived long enough. I also popped the health potion, and we barely managed to defeat the boss before he got us all. Other than this, nothing particularly interesting happened. We barely missed out on a double upgrade, which I'm sure the key holder wasn't very happy with, but it is what it is. The next dungeon was Workshop 8, where we once again pulled the whole first room together and didn't blow up this time. But my damage was awful compared to the others, and I'm not entirely sure why exactly. I guess my target, who had Touch of Magi, died too fast, so I got barely any benefit out of it, and I wasn't getting any procs for arcane missiles to cleave either. The first boss goes down without any issues, and I must disappoint you guys, there was no fried floor chicken this time. I haven't really elaborated on what this turbo boost actually means. So for those who don't know, Blizzard put in a vendor that has rare raid items such as trinkets, special weapons, and Mythic Plus trinkets are included as well. Heroic level is available for everyone, and Mythic level is only available for people who killed some bosses on Mythic in the raid or completed plus 12 dungeons. This is character bound, so this week we are awarded with 3 cartel chips for completing 4 dungeons or raid bosses, and in subsequent weeks we get 1 chip per week, so the second item you can buy in 3 weeks later. Additionally, they also increase the upgrade track on items, and crafted items go all the way up to 681 as well now. I'll be honest with you guys, I was really not excited for this at all. I would have welcomed this system for my Paladin series, but I've been begging for that stupid Mr. Pick-Me-Up trinket because it's stupidly broken compared to anything else that's available, but it's too late. For any new character, this system sucks a bit though, because you need an insane amount of crests to upgrade everything, even heroic items. I know, however, this helped a lot of people who were playing at higher key levels and they've been a bit stuck on certain levels, let's say, for example 15s, and had a hard time progressing past that, and this helped them getting into timing 16s. Which is great, but I personally have no interest in going that far. We had only one single death in this workshop run towards the end. We easily double upgraded this key. The next dungeon was Rookery 7, which was my own key. And the reason I'm doing this because I don't think I can get into a 10, and my goal for this week is to do at least one single plus 10 for the vault. I don't even care too much if it's timed, although I would obviously prefer it. So I have to get my key up to 10. I made a grave error when putting this group together. I did not invite a combat res, and I didn't have jumper cables on me either. So of course, the demon hunter goes down at the start of the fight. So we had to foreman the entire boss. Then of course, on the second boss, not long into the fight, the monk perished. So once again, we had to foreman the entire boss. Luckily, we managed to avoid further deaths on the last boss, so we did time the dungeon very comfortably and plus 2'd this key. Next, I joined Cinder Brew plus 8. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's a massive red flag usually when the tank goes to the left first to pull. I was really conscious to make sure how I position myself so I don't pull anything extra, but it didn't matter because the tank went a bit ballistic and did it himself. I felt so bad for this healer. Look at his HPS, is a very steady 2.5 mil, but eventually he goes down. So does the tank, and then we are just chain dying. On the first boss after the intermission, the tank quite literally cornered himself into the clouds, even though the entire right side of the room was completely clear. Then, the druid gets caught in the cloud trying to heal people. In the room of the P Elemental, I still cannot figure out how the pack gets pulled, which ultimately will brick this key for good. I watched this footage back so many times, and I just don't understand how those aggroed. The tank pulls the pack, nobody is close. I had to invis because I ripped aggro, and in that exact moment the pyromaniac starts running first, then the rest. I saw no spell flying towards them, absolutely no indication of anything, nobody's close to them, so I don't know. We only vibed, but after releasing, the mobs ran all the way after me for some bizarre reason, which caused another chain of deaths. At this point, the healer left. And honestly, can you blame him? I'm surprised he didn't leave earlier. This was torture. Don't worry though, I ran it back with a different group and we were able to time it. After brewing in cinders, I did my own Motherlode 8 to finish off the quest for the puzzling cartel chip, and we plus 2'd it, so I got a Floodgate 10 out of it. Okay, now comes a series of big mistakes. Last week after opening the vault, I picked the Entropic Guarding Core. This was on the first day of the turbo boost, and the light bulb in my head was broken, so I didn't realize that I could just buy a good trinket, so I should have taken the heroic tier chest as I still had veteran. This wouldn't have been that bad if I used my brain afterwards and had bought the Jester's Diamond that would have replaced Cyrus's Circlet. That would have been overall a bigger upgrade, but instead I was stupid and I just bought the Mugsy trinket because that's what seemed highest. I'm mainly showing you this so you can learn from my mistakes. Don't just blindly go for the highest numbers. Look at the overall picture. Don't be like me. After this embarrassing choice, I also got myself a necklace crafted. Speaking of embarrassment, This next Floodgate 8 was incredibly difficult for me to watch back. On the first boss, we kind of ran out of space, and I get the sonic boom. As a mage I can just blink through it quite easily, but for some reason I panicked, and I can't even really explain why I ran into the wall and took the warrior down with me. I felt so terrible. Me dying is one thing, but to cause someone else's is like the worst case scenario for me. But this wasn't the worst moment in this dungeon. It was this. Oh my god. Just get me out of here. I'm fucking terrible with auto time. I didn't even mean to press it. I felt incredibly embarrassed after this, and I just wanted to be done with this dungeon and log off fast. We were able to double upgrade this key even with my royal fuck-ups, otherwise I would have felt incredibly guilty for ruining this guy's chance at getting a +10 key. Needless to say, I disappeared after this faster than a tank leaving after one wipe into key. A couple days later I came back as a warm-up. I did a Dark Flame Cleft 8 and a Priory 8. I had some heroic items lying in my bag, which I then catalyzed afterwards. Also, you can bet on this furry corgi bot that after that horrendous mistake in Floodgate, I got myself an auto time Vikura, so I know when it's about to expire. It was finally time for my own key, which was a Floodgate 10. After last time, I was really hoping I would do better in this dungeon. After the first trashback, we vibed because the tank went down in 2 seconds. The healer apologized, but it wasn't their fault. Blood Decay is a self-sustaining tank. That's their whole mechanic. You really shouldn't need to throw a heal at them. You can throw them an external defensive, that is probably welcome, but they shouldn't need too much attention healing-wise. So I'm pretty sure this guy just didn't press his buttons. This was just the beginning, my friends. On the boss, the healer died literally the same way I did last time. But we managed to survive the boss, so we didn't wipe. Then the demon hunter died on the trash before the gliders, which took forever to kill without him. And then came the single biggest clown moment of this dungeon. What do you think happened? I'll tell ya. The demon hunter, for some reason I cannot explain, decided to not take the glider down, and he thought, "My destiny is my own," and used his own wings to glide down, but he didn't quite make it, and brings a train of mobs with him, which then causes us to vibe once again. Thanks, buddy. On the boss stand we had a full vibe because the druid just stood in the circle where the bombs came down, and no reaction from the warlock nor the DK, so we vibed. On the second attempt I die in the same circle by accidentally blinking into it. I got stressed but then died again because I didn't use defensive and I was low enough for the boss to finish me off. We vibed again. And again, afterwards, the tank left, and I was going to leave as well. The next day was Tuesday morning, last day before reset on EU. I thought I'll try something I haven't before and just start applying to 10s with a note that said, non-lever, good vibes and lost. And wouldn't you believe it, I actually got invited into a +10 Theatre of Pain. Now, it probably wasn't because of the note, as 90% of players won't read those, but I really appreciated the invite because we were able to time this dungeon successfully, thus getting a mythic item in the vault. Speaking of the vault, it was Myth Track Legs which then allowed me to equip Champion Hasteworth's chest that's been in my bags. So, I ended this week with 662 item level and 2303 rating. As you can see now, I only need to time 7 dungeons to finish this series, so I'm aiming to get that done next week. I thank you all very much for watching the suffering that ensued in this video. Comment if you enjoyed, and like it as well, of course. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I catch you all in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to vote for a tank. Bye bye!